Hi everybody, I'm Sheree from the library. It's January 2024 and today's video is all about my favorite books from 2023. Pretty soon the awards will be coming out for the best young adult books of the year, as well as a lot of other awards for kids books, but I wanted to give you a chance to find out about some of the ones that I love the most. So I want to start with, let's start with Thieves' Gambit. So this is a story that creates a cross between sports and action adventure and incredible future science fiction ideas, where a quest can't trust anyone in this world except for a quest. And for good reason. They're part of a legendary family of thieves who built their fortunes collecting all kinds of things by pulling off heists. So if you're looking for action adventure, set a little in the future with some true crime elements, that's the one for you. This is Gather, and I think I talked to you about this before. The story, amazing story of a kid whose mom dies from a drug overdose, and he is left on his own. He, of course, adopts a dog along the way, so that makes the story even more heart-wrenching when we find out some of the really horrible things that he has to face. This is Warrior Girl Unearthed, about a Native American girl in Michigan who desperately wants to find a way to recover land as well as treasure that was stolen from her tribe many, many years ago. If you've read Firekeeper's Daughter, this is a fantastic companion piece. You don't have to read one for the other, but it's the same kind of character story. This is The Divine Rivals, and I had to really think long and hard about this book. On the surface, it's a story about two rivals at a newspaper, both who want to get a promotion, and they are both trying to write a story that's so amazing their author will promote him. But it's one of those books that don't necessarily happen in the past or the future, but a time all of its own. So there are some amazing magical things that are happening, as well as some really dark undercurrents. So if you like a book that's a little more complex, that might be for you. This is Invisible Son, the story of a kid who has just gotten out of juvenile detention for a crime that he knows he did not commit. And while he's trying to clear his name, he is relying on some old friends, but come to find out there's some pretty dark things happening there. And the parents of the kids know a lot more about the crime that he served time for than he knew. This is Imogen, obviously, and it's not the greatest title for the book, but I absolutely loved it because Imogen is an amazing character who has never missed a Pride Week and considers herself an ally until her friend, who she goes to visit at college, introduces her to a whole different group of people. And now Imogen is trying to figure out how she fits in and who she is amidst all her support for others. This is The Davenports, a really interesting twist on historical romance fiction. It is about a very wealthy Black family and how they come to be prominent in society, how they still are shunned in some circles, but it's all about the intrigue of their sons and daughters who are finding their own loves and their own paths, and not necessarily in the way their parents hoped. The Song of Us is an amazing novel in verse. Remember, that means there's not a lot of description and the main character is telling us the story. And there's actually two main characters and they trade back and forth their story. Eden and Olivia meet and it's love at first sight, but they face an awful lot of obstacles, including the fact that they don't really trust each other. So it's about how they come apart and together, and apart and together. This is My Father the Panda Killer. This book will rip your heart out. It's hard to say I love a book that's so painful, but it's so amazingly written and it puts you in a story that becomes absolutely real. It's about a young Vietnamese girl whose mom has left her and her brother and her dad. Her dad is very abusive, but it's very accepted in their culture. So the way that it plays in their life and how it impacts their relationship was something I didn't know anything about, and I learned an awful lot from that book. Couldn't put it down. Same way with Artifice. This may be my favorite young adult book of the year. It is a fictional story about the very real issue of during World War II, when Nazis not only stole art, but often were paying for art to create their own private personal museums. And there were, in reality, there were some artists who created fakes of great master paintings to try to make money off the Nazis or ruin them in terms of the collection they thought they were getting. So Artifice is a fictional story about one such art forger. What I learned in this book was amazing. I know a lot about World War II, but this one told me about things I never imagined. Last but not least, I want to mention my favorite book of last year, All My Rage, because it's just so good. Everybody should read it. It's about two young Arab American friends, one whose family runs a motel. When his mom dies and his dad is incapable of handling the business, he is determined to save it and starts to deal drugs. Ultimately, his friend is the one who is convicted of a drug crime, and it's about their relationship and how they come to that point. It is the best book of the decade, so wanted to talk about that one again. I hope that you guys come to the library, check some of these out, love them as much as I do, but there's also thousands of other choices, so come on in and find the one that's just right for you. Thanks a lot, you guys.